right, welcome back to the Paracave podcast, and this is the second of the game day preview podcast that I'm doing now. That I thought I'd give it a crack, and we'll get some special guests on, and um, some celebrity fans and fans of opposition teams, whoever's playing Parramatta Eels. And this week it is Indigenous Round in the NRL, round 12. And Parramatta are taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs at Allianz Stadium. And today's special guest, I've got Age from the Cast Patrol, one third of the Cast Patrol. Very popular podcast on YouTube and Apple and Spotify. So give them a follow. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks very much, Troy, for having me. I'm pumped. I'm a bit sick, which is why the other boys aren't here because they're recording the weekly podcast. But I'm glad to be doing a podcast.
No, that's fine, mate. No, thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate it. As I said just before, I love the jersey that you've got on there, the old New South Wales Rugby League, Northwest, South
This is a
Sydney Jumper.
beauty. I actually found this in my dad's garage when I was working for him. I'm like, this is too good to be just sitting there. I'm just like, I'm going to take it. I think it's 92 or 93. But
Yeah, no, it's a classic, that's for sure. I love the old New South Wales Rugby League logo.
I know, it's classic. It's timely for Origin coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, nah, definitely for sure. Now, round 12, Indigenous round in the NRL, and South Sydney being a very proud Indigenous club. It's going to be a pretty good clash at Allianz Stadium on Friday night. Let's get into it. Let's get into a bit of a game day preview from a fan's perspective. From your side of things, who do you see from the Eels as a danger uh, for the South Sydney Rabbitohs?
I think number one on the list is Dylan Brown. He has been absolutely lighting it up for you guys this year. I went back and did some stats, and his running game's out of this world. Last 4 games, he did 190 run meters on average, and then he's I think he's like second on the try assist with 11 out of everyone. So he's a
Yeah,
big day.
well,
And also King Gutho, he's scored 5 tries in the last 5 games against us. So my eyes always watching Gutho.
that's an interesting stat. I think obviously for you guys, I think it's probably the big two, Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell. But there is probably another. Well, he isn't an unsung hero, but he's definitely pushing for an Origin berth, and that is Campbell Graham as well.
100% stretch. I think he's got 11 tries this year. Last year, he only scored about 4 or 5, and he's already doubled that more. So he's definitely locked into that Origin side. I think Freddie'd be crazy not to pick him.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Obviously played in the World Cup last year, and now the New South Wales side is the only one that he needs to get into, which I think he will. Now, an interesting stat I've got for you, I searched today, and with the Rabbitohs on top of the ladder now, and I think Parramatta about, I think they're 14th, 13th, 14th on the ladder. Um, both sides have scored 240 points.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So what is that? Para's defense is probably the main issue, isn't it?
That's right. So there's about 90 points difference in defence. So South Sydney 150, Parramatta 240. So that's probably the difference there. But amazing that they've both sides have scored the same amount of points.
Yeah, well, we know Para can always score points. They've got the players, Moses, Gutho, Sevo leading the try scorer with 14 already this year. Like, you guys have points in you. It's just that line defense where you always miss that crucial tackle. So that's probably where you guys have to work on. But at the moment, Souths are defending very well. I'm very impressed.
And I think it's the South left-hand side that seems to always tear us up, I think.
Well, yeah, that was in the past years, but now, as you said, this year you got to be careful with that right as well with Campbell Graham and Tane Milner had a blinder last week. So we got threats all over the park, which is so dangerous this year. So that's why it's the year of the rabbit in Chinese horoscopes. So I'm getting
Yeah, no, that's always a good sort of omen, perhaps. We see this game move to Allianz Stadium. Is that a good move, a different sort of a move that rather than playing a core stadium?
um so so we're at Allianz, so that's closer to home. I guess we're gonna get more fans there most likely. I don't think it will change too much. I do love my stats on stadiums and whatnot, but I think the main stat this week will be, as you said, it's Indigenous round, and we've never actually lost a game during this round. We average like way over 32 points a game, and we haven't scored under 32. So I think the boys just seem to lift because we have four starters who are all Indigenous and proud Indigenous men, and this is their game where they just lift.
So of the current team, you got the four Indigenous players there. Is there a favourite of those Indigenous players?
Oh, my favourite player is Latrell Mitchell. I'm a big Supercoach head, and he's my draft keeper. So I've had him since the last 5 years. And like the way he's leading the point scorer tally, like he can do it all: kick goals, score tries, try assists. I love Trell.
Yeah. What about previous Indigenous players at the Rabbitohs? Who have been some of your favourites?
Ooh, I have a soft spot for Chrissy Sandow. That field goal,
Okay. Yeah.
that was insane. But as you know, everyone loves Greg Inglis. He was an absolute freak.
Yeah, nah, definitely champion player. I think for me, I think back in the day, Zip Zip, Steve Ella,
Yeah,
champion player. More recently, you got your PJ Marsh, Dean Witters. Trying to think who else. Well, there's a couple most recently
yeah,
as well.
great.
So Blake Ferguson as
Yep,
well. Will Smith. There's a couple more as well. So
down in that parasite. Everyone loves Fergo, those backflips.
yeah, that's it. And current day Indigenous players, Jermaine Hopgood as well,
Oh,
was the face
top
of the
goat. He's incredible.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my, what a steal. He's nearly the buy of the year. He's insane. 27 offloads already this year. He averages 2.5 offloads a game. So if we can hold that ball, we're going a good way to win this game.
You think that's the key to victory? You think?
Well, I think it's going to be one in the middle, and the middles that concern me from your team is obviously Junior Barlow, Hopgood with his offloads, and Madison with that impact off the bench has been great for you guys the last few weeks. So I'll be keeping a close eye on them. And if we can win the middle, our backs will just do the rest because our back line is just talented as hell.
Yeah, I think that's where your strike weapons are. Obviously in the back line. Who in the South Sydney forwards are the unsung heroes? Because you, as I said, the back line is where it happens.
Yeah, there are definitely a few unsung heroes. I think Jaime Selle's had a big year. He never gets recognition, but like the things he does in attack and his defense, he rarely misses tackles. And also Junior Totola, I think he's been scouted as like a New South Wales bolter,
Okay,
which
yeah.
I don't think he'll make it, but he's very good in the middle.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on those two as well, in the middle, and obviously those back players as well. Um, who who do you think is going to have an absolute blinder? I mean, obviously Latrell's going to have being the round that it is going to have an absolute blinder. But who do you think is going to take the man of the match?
I'm going to go with Smokey. I'm going to go Jai Arrow because he's
Okay.
come to the bench. This is a real Smokey, really left field, but he needs to make that Origin team. This is his last performance, and he has to impress Billy Slater. I think he's going to just rip and tear. So I'm going to go Jai Arrow.
What about yeah? I think yeah, as you said, another Origin audition. The last one I think before the Origin teams get picked. Who do you think will be oh, who do you think will be the first try scorer in the game? Do you think it'll be a South or a Parramatta player?
I'm a bit biased. I'm going to go South, but I'm not going to go like the AJs, the Trells. I'm feeling. I don't know. Cody Walker, man, he just loves the first try, and it's Indigenous round. I think it all leans towards Cody, and he's been our most informed player.
He'd obviously be another smoky for Origin as well.
Yeah, well, he's third in line for that number 6 jersey because I don't know, they gave him that chance, he didn't perform, and I think they've just overlooked him like recently. But I'll be going with Hines if I was going to pick that number 6 jersey. But Cody's not too far off, definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've always said about South Sydney, I thought, yeah, you don't want to play them Easter time because they've got the bunnies, obviously, and probably Indigenous round, you don't want to play them either because it means so much to the South Sydney club. So,
I
uh,
they're actually total scores here. So last year, I think it was, I'm not sure what order this is, but 32, 32, 38, 44 total points. So like, I don't know what it is, but the boys just lift, play some footy.
yeah, no, definitely. And I think there's probably going to be near 30,000 plus crowd there, I think, on Friday night. I mean, grand
Yeah.
finalists from last year, South Sydney this year, um, Allianz Stadium, Trilliant Stadium, as they like
Trelli-
to call
Yeah, well, we lost the Roosters recently at Trellian, so we sort of like
it.
called that name, but hopefully we can put that back up. Trellians, love that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, uh, in the tipping comps, look, my heart says Parramatta, but I think South will get the win. It's hard to say that because I like to tip Parramatta every week, but it is going to be really hard. As you said, the bogey side for Parramatta at the moment. I think the
Yeah,
last games.
it's, it's six in a row, and it's by 13 plus every time, so it's not even close. So I don't know what happens when you guys verse those. You get cheeky, or it's just in their head, or maybe it's just luck. I don't know, but I'll
Yeah,
definitely be tipping.
yeah.
You,
I think last year it was Latrell's coming back game, I think, or one or two games from when he came back from America and
it
tore us
goes
up that night.
loads, but yeah, mate. For your sake, I hope you can turn the tables, but you're going to need a big game from your halves. You need a masterclass kicking game from Moses, and Dylan Brown needs to be on fire.
Yeah, that's it. I think he'll be happy that Mitchell's back this week. I think Jake played all right last week, but just having his full time halfback, he'll be a bit more comfortable with Mitchell there. I think it's going to be a great game. You going out to the game?
I'm actually sick, so
Oh yes,
if I can recover, I'll be going. Will you
yeah.
be game?
No, I won't be going to this one, unfortunately. I'll be at home in the Paracave watching it. So,
I love it. And
uh,
what type of TV do you have in there? Nice big plasma TV.
oh, it's not too big, but it's big enough. It's big enough. The
Enough
fridge
to
is
read.
there.
Enough
The
to read.
cat.
That's 13 plus.
Yes, well, I hope not, but we'll have to see what happens. And yeah, hope it's not. But look, if I was to pick a first try scorer, I might. Well, I'll go Parramatta player. I'll go Bailey Simonson, I think.
He was good last week, especially in defence. He was putting some good shots on, so I don't mind
Yeah,
that. He'll be good
yeah,
odds as well.
yeah. He had scored a try last week. But yeah, just like that, I had the out wide. So it should be a good clash. Looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get the win, but it's going to be difficult. So
I did. I reckon. I don't know. We might just like put our guard down a bit because we've won six in a row. Might think we're just going to roll through you, but Para's always a tough contest. Do you have any score predictions? What do you reckon the score will be?
score predictions. Well, look, as you said, we can score points. I like that 20 sort of bracket. So probably 24-20, I think maybe. Bit of a
Para's
close
right.
one. Yeah, well, yeah, look, I'll
Yeah.
go Yeah, you have to. Yeah, yeah. I'll go Parramatta. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
say South 32, Para 22. 32-22.
Okay, not the 13 plus.
Nah, I think they'll just miss it. They'll just miss it.
Yeah, nah. Well, it should be a great clash, and looking forward to it. Friday night, 8 p.m. Allianz Stadium. Check your local guides, as they say, where it's on. Watch it, Fox League, Channel 9. Should be a cracker.
Prime time. We got the best slot. I can't wait. I'm pumped. Should
Yeah,
be.
that's it. Well, Age, thank you very much for joining me tonight. And listeners and viewers, check out the Cast Patrol. They've got the tips there. They've got great content as well. Some great interviews as well. A former South Sydney player on this week, actually,
Yes,
Bryson Goodwin.
Bryson Goodwin. We had Bryson on. That was actually last month. Released it on Sunday, and he was great to chat to. He's been around. He's been everywhere. So it's great to see his insight, especially Super League versus NRL and all that. So that was excellent.
Yeah,
But
the
definitely,
story the story about the hands was great.
mate, his hands are massive. And
Yeah,
now I realize why he always held that ball in just one hand. I'm always like, Brighton, two hands, but if he has hands that big, go for it, man. It's like a little golf ball.
yeah. No, that's it. So check that one out. If you can't see the YouTube, check it out on the podcast as well on Apple and Spotify, and give them a follow as well. Hopefully, in a few weeks' time, we can catch up again together and do an in-depth interview about your love for rugby league in South Sydney.
100%. Sounds good. Thanks very much for having me. And go the Bunnies. Sorry, Para fans.
Come on, Para.